Hey, I'm Adrian Thessenvitz from Ad Infinitum, and you are watching Loud TV.
This is your second album, Adrian?
Yes, yeah. Actually, it's the third album if you count the acoustic album as well. So yeah, we were recording very much the last few months. I mean, COVID, we used it as an advantage actually because of the time we had suddenly, and so we were like, we need to invest something and make the best out of the situation possible. And yeah, that's why we came up with so many recordings. And actually, we're so yeah, we actually cannot wait to release the next album, and we cannot wait to release other albums as well. We are pretty on fire right now.
I would say there is a huge gap between the two first albums, and this new one is headed on production by Elias.
Yeah, this album is better, but because of we all wrote together and we all threw our ideas into the pot, and we worked without a producer and we self-produced this one. So we were way braver and had more ideas and wanted to combine more genres than before. So this one is actually has more faces actually. And Jacob did some kind of post-production like risers, hits, and some extra sounds, and Elias for the orchestrations did amazing work. But like 50% of the orchestration ideas are also written by us. Yeah, of course, Melissa did an amazing job, and especially when we did the acoustic recordings for the second album, Melissa took a new step actually of trying new stuff and new techniques. And yeah, there are more details in the second album, especially for the vocals. Everyone tells us we're like on the head of the new female fronted metal wave. The thing is, I personally don't know much about the genre and symphonic or power metal before I entered Ad Infinitum. So I'm actually very surprised with when we started Ad Infinitum that everyone was like, wow, where is this band coming from and why are they suddenly leading this new genre and this new wave in symphonic and female fronted metal. It's kind of interesting, but yeah, but I cannot say much about other bands and other female fronted bands because I used to listen to other bands before. One thing which is very important, or which was very important for us, is that we don't want to copy something, but like leaving a new trace. And I mean, if you say this is not too cliche and it is something new for you, then mission accomplished. And I'm very happy to hear that. And yes, actually, not doing it like cliche like is the key to it is combine surprising elements with one another. And we, of course, a big thing was putting some djent in there, like the heaviness and more breakdowns, and featuring Melissa as often as we can with her growls. And and we all try to put our strongest sides in the front. Like for me with the solos, for Nick, he's an amazing grooving drummer, and Corby has an insane bass sound, and we did a lot of bass synthesizers, and it's fun to hear, and that everything glued so well together.
And did you do the male vocals, the backing vocals?
Melissa did all of them, except in Afterlife, of course. There she was doing it with Niels together.
So, what was the story with Niels on this song, and how did you choose to have a guest on this new album?
I think even before we started writing Chapter 2, it was an idea. We need a song with a feature. And I started with the bass player Corby to write Afterlife. And it was actually pretty finalized. And we had the melody. And Melissa said, I want this song to have a feature. And yeah, then she found actually Niels, and she knows him from Dynasty and Amaranth. She was on tour with them already, and Niels said yes instantly. And yeah, he's a treasure.
Your album seems like a concept album on a famous Romanian guy. This new album is about Dracula, right?
Yeah, actually, the lyrics are inspired from the life and the legacy of Vlad III, which is known as Dracula. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's many people ask about that, because why him? And Melissa chose him because he's like a very multifaceted person. With, for some he was a hero, for some he was a monster, and of course the myth of being Dracula. And for Melissa, it was very inspiring to write lyrics about this. We chose him because it was interesting to write 12 different songs on 12 different perspectives on his life. And actually, it's always important that everyone can identify in some way with the lyrics. So it's not very concrete what we're saying, but it's more, this was described a moment, and I can identify with this because I felt there was a moment where I felt exactly like that. And so, yeah, if you are a history teacher, you will find yourself, or just someone who wants to listen to good lyrics.
Will you be like vampires on stage, or will you keep your mask?
No, actually, I think you've seen it. We have new masks.
Yeah.
And I don't have mine here. Actually, they are in Franconia at our drummer's place. And actually, we decided for the live show that we put it like not wear it after the second song, because it's way easier to perform, and we want to have a mixture of a masked performance and an unmasked performance. And yeah, so we are pretty open about evolutions with our band image.
Yeah, because this was one of my next question. Is it easy to play with a mask, such mask on stage?
Actually, it's okay. It works. You don't see everything. The problem starts when you want to actually move, like walking around. And for our first live show, it happened very often that we were bumping in each other because we didn't see everything. And the next thing is it's extremely hot. Like it's hard to focus because, like your head feels like it's going to explode.
And what about this artwork? It's like a Hollywood movie, you know? Like maybe I don't know, Avengers or thing like this. It's a kind of cool artwork. I like this.
Thank you very much. It was. I suggested let's look at Lord of the Rings and how do they do their posters.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with the color scheme of blue turning into orange and yellow. And our photographer, Natalia Enemede, like, she did a hell of a job. I really love it.
And what about live? Will you play also acoustic songs on stage, or maybe it's more 80-90% of electric?
Good question, actually, because I'm coming right out of a chat with Ad Infinitum, and we're actually right now talking about the set list. So maybe we played some songs acoustic, maybe not. Let's see. I cannot say something for sure.